Welcome back to another segment of Grandpa's Shop. In this segment, we're going to talk about cutting tools. You know, we talked about wrenches, we've talked about saws, we've talked about welders, we've talked about cutting tools that cut metal with torches and plasma cutters and so forth. Now we're going to talk a little bit about hand tools that we use here in other places around the shop for various things. I'm going to start right here with this little pair of snips. These are kind of known generally as pruning shears, commonly used when we prune trees around the yard and so forth. Most of the time is what you would use these for. Kind of a cool little pair of deals, but you don't want to get your finger in these either. It's what we call nippers. Happens to be this pair has been modified. If you notice this little foot that's been welded on over here, we use these when we pull nails out of boards and so forth, because we can grip the nail in the jaws and then we can roll it over onto the foot and pull that nail out. These are known as common hoof nippers, commonly used for horse farriers for trimming horses' feet and so forth, but they're also used around the shop for various other jobs. Pulling nails, like we talked about in the previous pair, is kind of one of them. Again, kind of a specific use tool, but it's kind of handy to have around. Keep in mind that all of these tools have been collected over a period of 50 years or more, handed down from generation to generation. That's the reason why you go buy good tools when you buy good tools, because then your kids and your grandkids can still use them. Here's a couple more pairs of pliers that are also double duty. Not only do we have cutting jaws in these pliers, we also have a gripping service. These are kind of known as lineman pliers. A lot of people that do electric work, they like to carry a pair of these because they can cut wires and they can bend wires and they can pull wires because they have good grip. A little different pair of pliers here. Yes, they also have a cutter in them, but these are known as needle nose pliers. Again, a specific use. We can reach down into small locations, down into perhaps like an area like that and grab something, pull it out. We can also use it for a cutter, has a specific use. How about these bad boys? What's this? Anybody know? What do you call this? We call it a pair of bolt cutters. Because when we've got big bolts to cut, this is what we go after. We put the bolt into the jaw right here right in there, and I don't think you want to leave your finger in there because that's going to be the end of it. Maybe a trip to the doctor if you do, because he's going to hope he can put it back on. Here's kind of the baby brother of the big pair of bolt cutters that I showed you just a minute ago. We use these in lighter applications, smaller bolts, maybe wire type of thing. And this pair I can remember we've had around here for a long time. How about snips? We've got 3 different pairs here. 3 different jobs. I'm going to show you the other pair in just a minute. This is a pair of tin snips also. The handles hold together when you're not in use. Designed to cut light sheet metal and that type of thing. Here's another pair I'm going to show you. These are just like a heavy pair of scissors. You know what to do with scissors, don't you? Well, look here. We got a pair here that these will cut through a little bit heavier metal than the pair that I showed you just a minute ago, and they're very maneuverable. Here's a little bit bigger pair, same as the tin snips that I showed you a while ago, just designed for a little heavier application, a little longer handle if you notice here. Gives you a little more leverage on your work. One of our very first segments, I showed you a big pair of snips that we had here hanging on the wall here in the shop that sometimes we use for metal work, but we can also use these for cutting sheet metal and tin and so forth. These snips are well over 100 years old, and there's also different sizes of these. There's bigger ones, and there's also them a little bit smaller. Commonly used in blacksmith shops. Here's another one. Anybody tell me what this is? This is a homemade and handy. All built by the welders and the torches that I showed you in previous segments. One of a kind, guys. Nobody's made another one like it. What do you think we use it for? Give me a guess. Anybody got a guess? I'll tell you. This is a knife blade. What do you think that could possibly be used for? Well, let me tell you what we use it for. We use this tool whenever we cut up tires to make various things. Sometimes we cut up tires to make feed bumps and so forth. And this particular tool we hand built and custom designed just for a specific job. Has a handle here and a handle here. This knife blade is the cutting edge, all designed for a very specific purpose. This all kind of ties into the different things in the shop that I've been showing here through the various segments. You get creative, you learn how to make various things, you make things to fit certain jobs. There's a reason why you do this. You have to learn to use your mind and your hands at the same time. This is all a part of the teaching process that we're sharing with you in these various segments. Get creative, learn to use your head, think. Think out of the box. Think, well, can I make this? What about this? How about a yard ornament? Can I make one of those? What do I have that I need that I could use that I can't buy? Think ahead, just continue to use your mind. You really enjoy this all of a sudden and start to expand your knowledge base when you get there.